Okay, folks, and we're going to come back to the Warhammer 40K later. It's a really hard mod, and it's almost 4 years old now. And because of the lack of updates, it gets seriously hard to start getting anywhere in it because it hasn't been balanced for ages plus whatever. So I've come back to this. We're gonna finish this up to 100th level, and the way I do this is it's kind of you do a start to stop the game kind of thing, and you do a little bit of whatever, right? Now I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go up here, and here we go, and it will lag. Just there's so I've got this is the maximum. And the box. Look at all the loot. That's just to start with. Good way to make money, by the way. And this just shows you how tough this class is. It's just crazy. And the other problem that both me and the roommate were testing this mod out, we were finding is that we were only getting pierce and physical items dropped. And if you take any other class that requires anything else, it's just so hard to get anywhere. I mean, you literally you have to take those other classes to get anywhere, and they're hard to play. So it's like, I like fun stuff, right? Not something that's going to give me a serious struggle for the rest of my universe. I like to have a little fun, right? So while I say I would think that a mod like that would be more fun with at least 2 people to play, and maybe multiplayer. Because then it's like you get 4 people playing it. It's a squad, right? Ooh. Oh, here we go. And those little explosions you see, and I'll go through the gear that I have. Ooh, we'll be almost done with my inventory. And I'm gonna have to take time and just, do these loot runs, right? So I can afford to max out my gear and get more tokens to start more builds, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus on the builds, right? That too, and the Unreal Engine little video there that I was doing. There's a plugin that will help me beyond belief that I will buy at the end of this month when I get my disability increase, so they say. You're supposed to get an extra $60 a month, so that'll go 40 to 50 of that goes towards that plugin, and then I can use Mixamo animations. And if you know anything about that, that's a thing that Adobe did, and you can sign up and do it for free, but then you got to put your character up, and then and then you can import it to whatever software or animation thing you're doing. Well, these guys made a plugin for both Unreal 4 and 5 to do that. They done an update for the 5th one, but I don't use Unreal 5 because I have hardware limitations. Like, I'll say this, I could be doing Unreal Engine 5, but first of all, they changed all the user interface, so I'd have to learn everything all over again, which is that's just, hey, let's do this because we can. It's the same crap I went through with Blender, right? Then you got to sit and wait for somebody who did a tutorial for you to update it, because when I'm doing a project like this by myself, I'm doing the work of, say, 10 different people, right? So I don't 100% learn it. I learn enough of it to remember that's the tutorial I need, and I go over and I focus on that. I get that little bit done, and then I move on to the next little bits. Okay. And this is where you go, right? And when you get into ray tracing and stuff, the 1660 Super is capable of doing a cinematic with rendering to ray tracing. However, I mean, I don't know about the rest of you. You know, I get it. Some people are they gotta have the latest, bestest thing at 8 million K or something, you know, where they could see the molecules on the surface of your skin or something, right? I don't know, whatever. The rest of us want to see something fun and enjoy it. That's where I'm at, okay? I mean, if I just don't see anytime in the future me getting a 30 or 40 series card because these people have priced all the cards out of reach of regular people. I hate to say it. They're doing themselves out, and you know, I've had discussions with this at a very high level with whoever's in charge of the Twitter TSMC card. I said, look, they're doing, you know, you sell stuff to them, and they asked you to cancel stuff because nobody was buying their shit no more. Well, that's because the only people buying it were Bitcoin miners. Well, they aren't buying them. So you better drop your frickin' prices to regular stuff. And TSMC likes what I said there, you know, because they would not let them cancel out of contracts. This is why I say to everyone, wait until the end of October and see what's going on with after they do this F mining uh, change, because let's see what happens with the prices. Because if I can get a two used cards for the price of a brand new one, I might try that. So that if one card goes a month later and the other one lasts 6 months, at least I get 7 months where it will, you know, it should work fairly decent, right? And that's the point, right? And I wouldn't advocate buying these cards otherwise. But when they're coming out with the next generation 40 series cards that could be as much as double the speed, they're going to double the price at least, you know. And look at the prices now. The price, and just to give you the idea, on Steam they list all the cards. When these prices were really high, okay, only 2% of people had 30 series cards. When the prices started dropping way down to MSRP, that went up to 15%. And it would continue to rise if they drop the prices more, because more people can then enjoy the games. And I mean, their low end card is more expensive than, geez, the computer I paid, right? I can go and buy two of these computers for the price of one graphics card with 1660 Supers, you know, and do Unreal Engine 4 stuff. So that's where I sit with stuff like that, and it's sad because I'm one of those kinds of people that I don't like to beg anybody for money, and I'm not going to. Okay, so if I'm not able to do it, then you don't get it doesn't happen. Oh yeah, probably. Run down. All right, back up this way. Run. Here they come. Here they come. See how it lags? Oh, I'm taking down Carl. Ooh. Run away. How much more fun this is, seeing massive, see how the game just unlagged there? That's funny. Now, mind you, on a 30 series card, you probably wouldn't get that lag either. You'd probably see smoke out of the back of your computer. You took your breakfast on the, you know, So that's the other thing, eh? One of my neighbors has a PlayStation 5, and he was talking about how he's pissed off that the thing always overheats. And I was telling him different ways to kind of mitigate that without, you know, doing anything funky. You know, you got to think of, well, go get a small little cheap air conditioner, put the PlayStation 5 in the same room, and just having it dry the air, even a dehumidifier would do it. Just drying the air that in the room you're in, okay, during a summer will make a difference. And that's a cheap way of doing it, because that will drop the temperature probably 5 or 10 degrees right there and give you a little bit more playtime. But these cards are just so power heat intensive that you know it gets to the point of where now you're looking at the next console versions are going to have to be using liquid cooled blah blah blah, and you know Sony's going to look at this and say, well, if you want one of these, you're going to be, you know, what they're doing. And here's the difference between Xbox and Sony. Okay, Sony will subsidize the hardware, okay, by making a PC player pay full price for a game, okay, where I could just be helpful. Look at that, baby. The other thing I like about this mod, I should just interrupt myself there, is no matter what level you start at, it puts the characters or whatever you base, okay, at the same level so you can get more experience, right? It's just that certain monsters at certain bits of levels don't have the abilities like other characters, so therefore you can actually run through them like I just did here, right? If you were to go to later maps and try this with other things, you'll have a harder time, which makes some sense. Let's see here. Left. The other thing I like the space, but anyway, so yeah, I mean the thing is, it's good that the other thing I like about it, the Unreal Engine, is that you will run into developers that are actually pretty cool. They make really good assets, and you can save yourself time of having, like, I could, if I spent 6 months, probably make a decent character model. I'm not great at it, okay? That's the rub. So some guy for 40 bucks says, here's a character model that I can use, saves me 6 months, right? This is the kind of thing that if you're smart about doing this, that you can pick up on, and even the pros do this, guys, okay? They go to these little places like CG Trader and Turbo Squid, Unreal, and they look for little props and little things, so they save time, okay? In the special effects abilities, right? It's also, and if it saves you time, it saves you money, and that means that you can get something done that looks fantastic. Look at that, almost done. So I get that area done. Okay, we go over here, do this. See, I'm almost up a level there, right? Go back up here and do a big fight. I'm doing the middle dot of the three that are right there. And I'll show you why. But anyway, yeah, so. Those guys that pop the shields up, you got to be careful of them because it's also semi-reflective. So you just kind of. Oh, I got a level. What are we gonna do? Let's do again. What am I gonna do here? make my notes and stuff. What's it doing here? I think I maxed everything down, didn't I? What's this? Yeah, we got to put it at 50. What's this? I'm maxed out. Maxed out. Okay, gotta bring these guys back. And these are the antipod boots. Okay, now when you look at them, right, what you're seeing is the antipod wave, right, and it explodes out doing all that excess damage, okay, which is really neat. A lot of people ask me, what is that? What is that? Well, that's those things, and it's because there's different versions of these boots at different levels. You can use them, right, and that's the kind of thing that I look for when I'm doing stuff like this. Okay. And we'll just do a little stop here and just show you what I've got for items, okay? Now, I put an Essence of Destruction on top of the Star of Elements. That gives extra damage, elemental damage, percentages through spirit, right? And critical damage as well. And just to show you, when I click over this, I have a critical chance of 23%. That is pretty good for a mage kind of, thing to do, right? What else we got here? The belt, okay. Now in this instance, okay, where you see the skill room of Spark of Altos, okay, that comes from this item, the Summon Reskill Blacksmith, which allows you to put items on jewelry. But for some reason, it also allows you to put them on belts. Now, you could take, at level 30, there's a thing that increases all three of your physique, cunning, and spirit by something like 8% or 9% or something such, which would be significant to doing a lot of things, right? If you were short on say physique to get a certain armor piece, cunning or spirit, you would probably use them. But as I'm not worrying. And just to show you what it does, you'll see that it's a toggleable ability, right? And it does more lightning. It adds to lightning damage and electrocute damage. It reserves 200 energy and requires 2.5 per second, while I'm regenerating way more than that. So that's how you do that. And this Divine Midgard set, right? I have 3 sets of it, right? It's kind of the Thor feeling, right? And I get extra health, extra lightning and electrocute, offense ability, right? And then the item itself, right? Plus you got the strength of Thunder God, 100% on a critical attack. So about every 4th or 5th attack, I'm getting 10% plus 500 of my health back, extra offense, and way more armor, okay, to this particular piece here. Having a belt that has 396 armor is insane. And you can look at the armor ability over there. That one to 2180, right? You mouse over this, right? Boom, Chances to hit me aren't very high. Anyway. Then we got this item, which I probably will replace because it's only level 75. But at this point, it's one of the items that says plus 1 to all skill. Okay? That's one of the things that you have to get a really, 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 really high percentage of 150% higher for those abilities to mitigate a +1 to all skills. So if I had an item here that said plus 160 to, you know, lightning or elemental or something like that, then I might take that versus this, right? And then you got to think, well, see, it says chance on critical attack. Right? So if you do a critical attack every 5 times, every 5th one of those, you're going to do this. So that granted skill isn't much of a use. You see, you might be doing it once every 20 attacks. Right? Now, if you're seeing lightning flash 20 times, well, then it's going to trip once. It's a dependent thing, right? Let's see, the pants, mythical storm. That was part of. Is that part of the Thor thing? No, it's not. See, I might try to find another set bunch for pants. Right? See, here you got that. So you got the hammer, Thor's hammer. Right? Okay. That does a nice chunk of damage. Right? You got that and the belt. Okay? And that's the 3 things. And you can see there that it also adds that armor to whatever. Right? That's when that gets tripped, it adds to this, like an overall thing. Now at this point I have that, and I went only as far as 2 pieces because of the fact that 10% physical and slow resistance isn't necessarily anything I care about, and to go 4 pieces in it, it's not the right class, right? Now I put a Zog ring on that to get extra skills. Why not, right? I mean, that's one of the highest runes you can get for that. And this is the other piece that's part of it, right? Up here we get an item that also adds +1 to skills, adds the damage, health, and energy. Okay? Then you get some elemental resistance, which you can see all my resistances. But pierce is a bit low, poison, and what is it called? Bleed. Right? Then we go into the rings. I got 2 of these, okay? And I may or may not have experiment a little bit more, but they're pretty good for adding elemental damage as well. It's probably something where I'm going to have to look. That's why having these things at the bottom of you could summon these guys, it will take some time. Right? And that's the whole point of doing this, is that you take your time and check things out. And this is really interesting. It makes you look really cool. The Ravager's Dead Grade. It adds damage, right? Converts some of your attack damage back to health, adds some health, and then it adds +1 to skills. And then at the bottom there, you see the volatile water, which adds the damage, critical damage, and +5% to experience, right? And that's a very cool thing there too. Now, I don't use the granted skills very often, but if you were handier at the keyboard or I play sometimes. I like to play a game, the mouse back, use the mouse, right? And I use the mouse pointer to click on things on the keyboard. But if you're really into things, you can put a couple of these things, like I have here. See, like these 2, these are not toggleable, right? But you can click them, and then suddenly for 20 seconds, right, you get that, right, which, that's crazy. Same with that. I got 2 of those, so I can use 2 different ones, right? Let's see. That one here also adds +1 to all skills. So as you can see, it's a pretty good class already. Plus it's got, with the latest update where they increased a bit on pets, these guys are a little tougher than they used to be. Right, which is nice. I'm not going to get far in here until I run out of space. Need more inventory space. But each run through here will get you about 1,000,000 credits. So you do that like 6 or 7 times, and then you don't have to worry about money for them. Right? Then you can do a couple builds, and then you try stuff out. I haven't even really shown off the Crucible yet either. I've only used it a few times, but it's kind of neat too in its own. Alright. Going something. What I do to fix stuff up, see all the red bits, the vital essences, I try to run over them, get them out of the way so that when I go to pick something up, I go, then I can just highlight it and I don't have to see it on the map, because at this point, your eyeballs are like, whoa. And hello to all 500 or so people on Twitter that decided to follow me after having to create a new account there. Now, took me only a week to get all that. That just shows you that, you have good people around you. A lot of sports fans too, which is kind of interesting, cool. Kind of the entertainment. It's like an entertainment area, I got all the entertainment I need, It's kind of neat.
I can't carry anymore.
I can't carry anymore. Well, isn't that just the end of the video? Alrighty. Okay, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. And I'm going to I'll come back when I got this guy at 100th level and show you. Okay? Alright, everybody. Take care.